Oops, something's wrong. Okay. Should I just create a new stream? Yeah. Damn, I screwed it up. Okay. We're still streaming on Twitter. 10 people. 5 people on YouTube. Should I unswitch them all? I'll kill it all. I fucked. Yeah. So if I just turn on the switches right now, it should be good to go. Okay. All right. See ya. Bye. Let me see. Check one. I want to see if this is. We're trying to get this to work. Hold on. Ba-ba. Oh, we are live. Check one. Hello. Did we freeze? Hello? Hold on. Okay, we're good, Em.
Okay.
Yes. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to the He Said.
She Said podcast.
We're back, baby, for episode 2.
2.
Sorry, yeah, we had a little hiccups. We're still getting used to this, but I just want to say, start off, episode 1 was, I would say, it kind of took us by surprise, right, Em?
Yeah.
Right?
I was very happy with the feedback.
The support has been pretty crazy, honestly. Better than I thought.
Mhm.
I mean, you had people in your DMs after like saying how what was the one that made us both laugh?
Well, I just want to first of all say thank you to everyone that messaged me in my DMs because you guys said some very nice and like supportive things. But yeah, there's one that I like sent Roszko and I was like, this is so funny because I came on when Ash and him were doing their podcast together. And one of you guys DMians were saying how you were watching that one back, and then you watched our first episode of our podcast, and you said that I was a lot nicer to Ross during that episode. So
I guess hey, I guess it's the podcast, right? I
yeah,
guess that's the way. Other than that, you're just a meanie to me, I guess.
I will say you and me are very sarcastic with each other, and I think like that's kind of like translating over into the podcast or whenever I'm on with you. It's I promise I'm not that mean. I don't think to you.
I think people don't get our well, people understand my sense of humor in a way
Yeah.
because I'm available and I stream every day.
Hmm.
But with you, it's a little bit different with your sense of humor.
Yeah.
I think you play it very, say, rough, I would say.
Yeah. I guess.
You like to
So
pick
my I
on
get
me?
you always joke that I get it from my dad, and my dad gets told that he has a very dry sense of humor, and I think maybe I do too. I get it a little bit from him.
Yeah. I always say, like, what? You remind me of, like, The Office, like The Office type of humor.
Oh, well, yeah, that's funny.
But so what's going on? So what are we going to talk about today? Uh, we mentioned about the 50-50 topic, but there's been stuff going on, right? In the news.
Mhm.
The solar eclipse.
Yeah.
right? That was like the big thing.
Well, yeah, that was huge, but I didn't go anywhere that had like a crazy, I don't know. It got a little dark here, but not anything super crazy. How was it over there for you?
Uh, in Florida, we had what was it? A partial, they said, right? A partial eclipse. So it was weird. It just happened so fast how like all of a sudden, like I think around like 3 o'clock, it just the whole light just went dimmer. Like everything just went dim. It was weird.
Hmm.
It was very different. But yeah, don't stare into it, right? They say.
Yeah, I had to tell you not to stare into it because you're like, it's fake. I can look at it. But no, I've actually heard stories of people that looked into it at the sun, directly at the sun during the 2017 solar eclipse. And like their eyesight was completely messed up and it's irreversible, I think. So it's
Yeah.
it's dangerous. But
I saw some
yeah.
clip going on viral on TikTok. I think it was like a sketch from a while ago. It was like a family, and the dad was like filming, and his kid was just like, I can't see," and he's like, I think it was all played out, but the kid like jokingly like pretended he stared into the sun and like call the ambulance, call. It was just funny
Oh
because I
God.
you know damn well so many people probably yesterday stared into the sun.
Yeah, because I don't think like everyone's like fully educated on what you're supposed to do during a solar eclipse. Like, I don't know. I think you're not supposed to let your pets outside because I don't think pets look directly at the sun ever, but just in case, like, they do decide to look up.
Don't let your pets out? Wait, is it supposed to be because it's stronger? Is
Yes.
that okay.
So I think it's so bright that it can burn your like your eyes, like your retina or I'm not
Jeez.
very scientific, but yeah. I Googled it because my dad let my cat out and I was like, it's the solar eclipse is still happening. And I don't know. They said that, pets should be okay since they don't ever look directly at the sun on their own, but for precaution, you should keep them inside. So, I don't
Hmm.
know. My cat's acting normal today, so I think she's okay, but I was worried for a second.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird thing, right? Because it made me think, like, even, like, when I was outside, I was walking Bane because I was like, "Oh, let's go walk around and, like, scope and everything out."
Mhm.
And, like, a bunch of my neighbors were outside, like, taking pictures and shooting, like, photography of
Mhm.
it. And I was talking about it a little bit earlier with this solar eclipse, it kinda, like, makes me think, like, what people actually thought about it, like, back in the days, like,
Mhm.
in the 1800s, 1700s, or 1600s. Like, imagine just, like, all of a sudden you see the sun just get blocked. You probably think, like, the end of the world.
I'm pretty sure they did think the world was ending, like that was a sign of like the end of times or something like that.
I would freak out if you'd be like, "Oh my god, like, the world's gonna explode."
Yeah. And I think like back then too, people didn't have like the scientific knowledge that we know have now. So they probably did look up at the sky, look at the sun and,
They might
look.
burn their eyes. Think about the
I
people back
know.
then, but just like, "What the heck is going on?" They're burning their eyes.
So I don't entirely know. One of my friends told me that if you look at this up at the sun directly without the glasses, that whatever you see, so whatever, let's say like there's like a crescent moon type shape on in front of the sun at the time. Whatever wherever you live, whatever you're seeing, that will be like permanently engraved, like burned into your pupils. So then you'll always like see that like a faded like you know what I mean? Like that would be like a faded imprint on your eyes. I don't know if
Really?
that's real. I did see a TikTok of a girl from 2017's one. She looked at the sun directly. She didn't know that you're not supposed to. And then she said she woke up the next day because it doesn't hurt or anything. You don't realize till like hours later. She woke up the next day and she said she tried to read something on her phone and she could only read like every other word. So,
What?
yeah,
Oh my god, you just cooking your eyes.
I
And,
know.
like, I think I ain't gonna lie, I did look at it for a little bit, just take a glimpse, and
Yeah, of course. Of
you
course
can
you did.
feel it. You could feel it a little bit, like, it's strong, like, what the heck?
But
But
I think it's the most dangerous if it's like during its peak. I think other than that, I don't know. I wouldn't listen to me about it, but I just didn't even look at the sun. That's all I did yesterday. I didn't look.
But then they said like the next one isn't gonna happen for another 25 years.
Yeah, I
If
think they said
that's
the next one's in like 2040 or something.
what?
Yeah.
What why is that though? Because what didn't we just have one in 2017? So why is it such a huge jump?
I don't know. I'm not the person to ask.
I'm
I
just
don't
I'm just
know the
I mean,
scientific.
yeah, I don't I mean maybe just I guess the way the world rotates, but I don't know. But speaking of space, I brought
Mhm.
this up to you and I was so fascinated by this
Oh,
and I wanted to talk to you about it today. Um so I was watching the SpaceX conference and Elon Musk gave a presentation, right?
okay.
About his expectations of the company and what's their goal.
Mhm.
And he went on and basically said that he's worried that our civilization might die out at some point and that
Mhm.
humans could eventually fall off. Like something could naturally kill us off. And that either it could be natural disasters such as earthquakes, New York
Mhm.
just got one, or world wars or something, some major war. So he's saying in the next 20 years that he wants to put people on Mars and essentially build the humans as a multi-planet ecosystem.
Mhm.
So basically, like we're going to be expanding through the universe. That's what he wants to do in 20 years. And would you want to live on Mars? Like they're saying that Mars is livable.
Yeah, which is crazy to me because so like I don't know, how long would it take to get to Mars from Earth?
Um, I'm not sure. They said that they'll be able to shuttle back and forth at some point.
I don't trust it. Like I don't think I'd ever go into space because Interstellar, after watching Interstellar, I don't want to have anything to do with like outer space, other different planets, nothing.
Yeah.
I don't trust it. But
But like he said, one of his biggest like questions that he gets all the time is like, do aliens exist?
mhm,
And he says that no, like aliens do not exist and that we are truly the only ones in this universe. So it makes you think like I don't know what does happen to Earth with everything going on, right? Like what we have people that are worried about you know the heat and what was it called? Like
global
all
warming?
yeah, global warming and everything. So it's
Okay.
like, I mean, I don't know. It makes you think like, are we gonna expand? Are we gonna like build off? Because they said, hey, Mars is livable. They said that they can build on Mars and we can live there.
But
So
how is it livable? And like how much of it have they explored? Is there like what if there's other species or something weird living on Mars that we don't
well,
know
then we'd
about?
bring everything. They said they would ship all the like they said over 200 tons worth of material, and they would start building everything out. And I assume like they would ship animals, cows. We'd put a cow on Mars, and we
Yeah, but
would.
that would be so messed up if like they died because they couldn't survive in those conditions.
Oh yeah, I mean, if a human, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that they would test it out a little better than before they start shipping everything there. But like, I would think. I mean, it just blows my mind that that's like how or what we're gonna do is expand through the universe by just planet hopping, I guess. I don't know.
That's crazy too, because if you think about it, 20 years from now, if that's an option, like if you can book flights to go to Mars, then people will be like, okay, I'm going to another world or
Yeah.
another planet now. Like for my
What would you
birthday, that's my
say?
birthday trip.
Would you say what would people be called?
Martians. Wouldn't it
Right?
be yeah, you'd be called a Martian if you live on Mars, right?
Right? I guess you'd have an ID and it'd be like you're a Martian. I don't know. It's just interesting. I just think that like, maybe that's what goes on. Maybe that's the new future. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the biddies. Appreciate it. Um, but
You know, it would be nice if all men stayed in on one planet and all women stayed on another planet. That
oh
would be a
yeah.
nice experiment.
How would we
Procreate?
yeah.
You could just travel back and forth, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they did say that the birth rates are dropping bad.
Yeah.
They said that,
Well,
compared to other countries, they said that we're like like America is like our birth rates down the drain.
I think that's because people are getting married at like a lot of people aren't even getting married nowadays anymore, like my generation and like younger, obviously. Even I don't know. I think when when my parents were my age, they're already married with 2 kids.
Mhm.
So, definitely the age of getting married is getting older. I don't think people get married as young anymore. So, I guess maybe that's why the
Yeah.
birth rate is going down for now. I don't know.
I think people are just having less kids too. I think too,
Well,
it's
in this
like,
economy, you can't even.
yeah, I mean, it all plays a factor. I mean, my mom is a sibling of like 6 or 7,
Mhm.
right? Where do you see people having 6 or 7 kids? Unless I mean, besides billionaires, right?
Yeah, unless you're loaded, you can't afford to have that many kids.
But back in the day, I'm sure like they just were shooting them out left and right.
I
They had
know.
like I mean, that was common for like people to have like 6 or 7 kids.
I
Now
can't
it's
even like imagine having one, let alone having 6 to worry about and take care of.
yeah. I mean, think about the grocery bill. Think about like how much college tuition would be for like 6. You can't. It's
Yeah.
physically impossible.
Unless you give birth to geniuses that will have like a full ride. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a twin. I mean, that was probably your parents' huge
Yeah.
surprise because they were expecting a 1, they got 2.
My brother always jokes and says one of us was a mistake, and he says I'm the one that was the mistake.
That's messed up.
I know. But that could be true. I could be the one. I don't know because obviously they weren't expecting 2. They wanted, especially for your first kid, imagine having 2 kids as your first like as a first-time parent. I couldn't even.
Yeah. I'm
And
sure
at
your
the
mom, like, had
time,
a heart attack.
well, it was so my mom was like 115 pounds before she got pregnant with us. That's to carry twins, to carry 2 kids, that's like nothing. And I think by the end of her pregnancy, she was like 150 or 160 pounds from 115. And she actually like started going into labor a month early. So she had to stay in the hospital for a whole month because we were not like fully developed yet. We were about to be like premature babies and we also wouldn't have survived. The survival rate for us was very low at the time if my mom had us a month early. So she had to be in the hospital and then a month later she had us like fully we were like fully
Mhm.
developed. But the I actually have a story about that.
Oh, no.
So she was in the hospital and her water broke finally, but so I guess Ash is the one that broke her water, but I wasn't ready to come out. So then they got Ash out, she was fine. And when they pulled me out, I wasn't crying. And when you have a newborn baby, they have to be crying because if they're not crying, that means they're not breathing. So my mom, since she had like such a like crazy pregnancy, she had a bunch of residents like students that were in med school at the time, like a room full of them watching her like give birth. And so I guess she said that they all lined up to like spank me or like pat me on the back to get me to start crying. And then I finally started crying. Um, yeah. My Ash and my birth story is a very funny story, but
God.
I'll have to let my mom tell you it one day, my parents.
And someone said the hospital bill was probably insane.
I'll have to ask my parents. I don't think it's as insane as it is nowadays. I've seen hospital bills from back in the day versus nowadays. Heard about some hospital bills being like $100,000.
Yeah. Jeez.
So,
Now, do you, this gets brought up sometimes, and I want to ask you this. Do you think if you look around, let's say, like, all your friends, right? If all
mhm,
your friends get married or start having kids, do you feel like sense of uh
urgency.
worriedness? Like,
Um,
what age nowadays, since you said that, like, what age is like correct? Some people, I mean, back in the day too, it's like it was like 20, it was
mhm.
early. Now people are just going what like 25, 30, 30 even with people. What, your friend just got married? She was what, 40, 30, something like that?
Yeah, but she was married before and then she got divorced and then she
Oh,
just got remarried. So that's like a special scenario, I guess. But um Well, it's different for me because first of all, I'm a girl, and
Yeah.
second of all, I like grew up in I guess like a foreign household, and in like other countries, it's typical. It's actually the norm for girls to get married young because it's believed that I mean, the older you get, the less suitors you'll have, the less people will want to marry you because obviously you're getting older, you don't look as young. You also like the older you get for girls, the harder it is for you to have kids.
Yeah.
So you're it's believed that we should be getting married young. So I've been getting asked what I'm going to get married since I was like 21, 22 by my grandma, by like other Bengali people. So to me, like right now being 25, I'm like old. I'm getting like to the age where like I'm too old to be married or I'm not going to like find people to
What?
marry, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, my parents are definitely worried about me and Ash because we're not married yet. But what do you think? What is the age that
Well, it's
you
obviously different for guys, I think, because
yeah.
guys, there's no time limit.
Mhm.
But like, you don't want to be like Robert De Niro, 90 years old, having kids and like, like you want to be able to at least keep up with them, right? You don't want to be like the dad with all his friends, like your kid's friends at 50 and all the other dads are like 30,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. That's what I think about too. It's like you don't want to be the old dad, right? You want to watch your kids graduate. You want to watch your kids get married. You don't want to be, so, but there is no time frame for guys. I mean, guys can do, unfortunately, can do whatever they want. I guess,
Yeah.
right? The double standard you always say.
Yeah, there's definitely a double standard. My uncle, he um got remarried and they have like a 20-year age gap. So he was about like in his late 40s, early 50s when they had their first kid together. He has two daughters from his previous marriage. But yeah, to have like a kid, a baby at 50, you could definitely see like he he just like couldn't keep up because he's just getting old, so it's hard to raise a baby at that age. And so he started going to the gym, eating healthier, like changed his whole lifestyle just to be able to like keep up and like have enough energy to like be there for my younger cousin.
Hmm.
I think it's all about I don't know. I don't think it's like I don't think that old people shouldn't have kids. It's definitely harder though. And you're also going to be way older when your kid is in college.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I can say it's also like unfair for the kid, right? You don't want to have you don't have an old dad. I don't think so, right? I mean, maybe it
I don't
happens
know.
to some people, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you just want to live as long as possible too, so you can see everything. But it's interesting how it changes. It's how everyone's kind of like now everyone's waiting. It's just because it is expensive too. It's expensive, and it's like one of my big things was like stability, right? Even in general, like money, great job.
Yeah.
Can you have a house? Can you afford all that stuff too? Because it's like you have more responsibilities.
Well, nowadays too, I feel like I actually saw a trend on TikTok and it's like people posting pictures of their parents like throughout the years. And then like one girl was like trying to figure out when my parents like fell out of love because her parents were divorced. And everyone in the comments is like, it's so obvious. It was after they had kids. Like, cause like couples like
Jeez.
in their photo albums, you like they're so happy and in love. And then, like, as the years go on, after they had her, which is so sad, but after they had their first kid, you could see like their photos. They're like not smiling, not happy. They look exhausted. And I feel like kids definitely age you because you're so like stressed and anxious all the time, like taking care of them. And you also don't get sleep. That's one thing. Like, sleep is very important to me. And you don't sleep for years. Like, the first year for sure, you don't sleep after you
Yeah.
have a kid. So,
Well,
yeah, it's not the most like appealing thing, but
well,
I
my
don't
mom
know if
cursed me, so like I told you, I think my mom cursed me because I was a
you're not
problem child growing up.
uh-oh.
So I was the kid that literally got kicked off. I got kicked off the school bus so many times. I got suspended so many times. I was the one like running up and down the church, like screaming. And
God.
I remember there's an epic photo I think it was like my sister's like baptism, and I'm like giving, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like jumping up and down in the background, like acting a fool in a church. Like, yeah, I was definitely the problem child. So
You
I'm
showed me
like,
like a few like baby pics of you, and you definitely look like a troublemaker. You look like you're up to no good. You look really like a little menace. So
oh, I was bad. I was really bad. I used to go sneak into my dad's beer case, and I used to take the beer and run out in the backyard and try to open them up and
what
drink
the
them.
heck? I never
I
knew
was,
that.
yeah, but I got smacked a couple times. I don't, they don't do that no more, but I got
Yeah.
spanked a few times. But yeah, I was definitely a troublemaker. So my mom cursed me and said that whatever I've done, I'm gonna have to pay for it.
Oh gosh. With your
Yeah,
kids. Yeah.
yeah.
Your kids
So
are gonna be your karma.
probably,
Oh god.
probably. So um,
I like to say I was an angel of a child. Like I never really got in trouble in my like whole I don't know, in my childhood, I don't really ever remember getting in trouble.
you were, yeah, but weren't you like a little bully, neighborhood bully?
Yeah, so Ash and me are kind of like our neighborhood bully. Like all the kids, because back then when I was younger, kids used to play outside like all day, every day. We used to be outside, like just running around playing. And Ash and me were like the ringleaders of the whole neighborhood. Like all the kids would listen to whatever Ash and me said. And if we didn't like somebody, we'd be like, "You can't play with us." And then like nobody would talk to that kid, or everyone would shun that kid. So we're a little bit of bullies.
Mean
And
girls.
yeah, we were a little bit of mean girls. We actually my next door neighbor, we're very close now, but when we were younger, he was the only child. And my house was like there's three of us. I have a younger brother, there's Ash, me, and then my cousins used to be over all the time. So there'd be like my house would be filled with kids all the time. And he'd try to come over and like hang out with us and play with us. And Ash and we would always be so mean to him and be like, "You can't, no, leave, go back to your house," and stuff like that. So yeah, that wasn't nice. But we moved on from that since then, and we're all very close now. But
Yeah.
I feel bad about that.
God. Well, we were all trouble, but uh, one of the main things that we wanted to talk about tonight, because what did we see? We saw like you sent me some sort of video about going 50-50, right?
Yeah.
50-50. That's always a heated debate with a lot of people.
Yeah. It definitely is a
And
very heated debate.
it's
And I feel like
interesting.
there's a lot of different viewpoints that people have on that. I think like going 50-50 with your partner in specific, right? So
Yeah. So, first date, I take you out and I ask you to split the bill. What are you gonna do?
um I mean, I'm not gonna go on another date with you. I'll pay if you want me to split the bill with you, I'll pay for
Damn, it's that
myself.
cold?
Okay, so the rule with that is if you're the one that's asking somebody out, then you should be the one that's paying. So, I
Okay.
mean, if I asked you out to dinner, I'd pay for you, but I've never asked a guy out. Like, I'm not one of those types of girls that like makes the first move and says like, "Oh, like, you know." So,
Yeah.
it's different. And I think it's different for each couple, or every couple is different. Um, what
But
I don't know what are you used to, I would say. You have a
well,
lot
I
more of like a history dating than I do.
but like I think it depends. I'll be honest, it depends for me. Like on a first date, if it sucks, if it's ass, maybe then like then I won't, I mean, I'm never gonna see you again. But then like part of me is like,
Really?
maybe like I don't know, maybe I just like it depends. I think you just pay for it fully and then just call it a day. But I think if you're going into it and you enjoy it and we're having, a good time, I wouldn't mind paying because I'm the one that asked.
Okay, but what if it's like what do you think is a good first date?
A good first date. It could be
Yes.
anything. I don't think it has to be expensive. I think that's the biggest flaw is that people think it's got to be extravagant, crazy, expensive.
Yeah. So what is the idea of a good first date for you? Like where would you take a date on a first date?
Well, I think ours was not a good exception because we went to a steakhouse.
That wasn't because of me. That was you're the one that booked
We were in
that.
I mean, we were in Miami, so I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? That was like a little that was my ego checking in a little bit. But that wasn't even that expensive. That was kind of that was like that was I mean, I wouldn't even say that was an expensive restaurant. That was mid-tier. But that was a nice little steakhouse.
Well, I'll say this. Your first few dates with somebody, you're like setting a standard of like what they should expect from you. So, like when we went to a steakhouse for our first date, I don't expect you to take me then to like Applebee's or like McDonald's on a date.
Well, yeah,
Like that's kind
we
of
were
like the
talking
standard you
though.
set.
You know, we were also talking for a while, so it was a little bit different. But if it was like, you know, we just met on like
So,
I don't know, Hinge, it'd be like I'll meet you at the local. I mean, I'll meet you at a bar, right? I'll meet you
no,
at a
I
probably
would
like
never meet somebody at a bar, but like you could go to a nice cocktail bar, like a nice restaurant,
yeah.
and sit at the bar and like have a few drinks, I guess. But I feel like a good first date is something that like involves an activity. So you could like talk because I feel like sometimes first dates can be a little awkward because like you just feel nervous and you don't have like you kind of like get flustered and then don't know what to talk about. So if you're like doing an activity like at the arcade or like at
Yeah.
Topgolf or something like that, you could like joke around and like talk about that and focus on that, I guess.
If I took you to Topgolf, you would hate me
Well,
in 2 seconds.
yeah, maybe not Topgolf for me because I suck at Topgolf, but if you took me to like an arcade or like bowling, I don't know, I would have been fine with that as a
Yeah,
first date. But
bowling would be
coffee
good.
shops,
You're
I
good
think
at
coffee shops are
bowling.
good
I'll give
too.
you that. You're good at bowling.
You never give me any credit for anything. You think I suck at everything.
But you beat
Whatever.
me at everything though.
You're good
Um,
at some things, I'm good at other things. One thing I'll never let you live down is the first time we met, we played like a huge like life-size Connect 4. Remember that? And you
yeah.
lost so bad. Like
I think I was probably I had a few drinks probably.
no, you didn't. I was like shocked that you even lost because like that was so obvious. Like you could have blocked me, but you didn't even notice. And then you say you let me win, but I don't think that's true.
No. No, but for a first date though, I think more of like a relaxed setting that's in that there's like a lot of people. I don't think it should be intimate in a way. I don't know.
Okay, I think it depends like how long you guys have been talking to each other before you go on the date and like your vibe with each other. I feel like some dates it would be nice to like be more intimate if it is like your first time meeting each other so you can actually like talk and not have like all this noise around you.
Mhm.
But you know what? I actually have a good question. What do you think is like a good so a lot of people go on like to restaurants for dates, right? And I ask
Okay.
my friends this all the time. And I when I think about it, like what do you think is a good like restaurant or like a good thing to order when you're on a date at a restaurant that isn't like super
Ooh.
messy and like dirty? Because
Wings. Extra buffalo sauce. Wings. Ribs. I don't know.
stop.
That's such a good question because it's like, how would I feel if I order like a salad and she orders ribs? I would leave. I would get up and leave.
Gosh. I don't know because like I always think about it. Burgers for me is not good. My like it just looks sloppy. I look super like a mess whenever I eat burgers. Pizza is sloppy, like spaghetti. Like if you do pasta, that's sloppy. I
Yeah.
feel like the safest route to go is like maybe sushi or salad. That's like the for girls at least. Like that's the only
Yeah.
like thing that you can like look proper while you're eating it. Otherwise, I just look like I'm stuffing my face.
Guys, I don't think it matters. I mean, you can eat whatever you want. I think he's gonna be yourself. I wouldn't order a lot of food though. I wouldn't be like like I'm getting all these plates and you're just getting a salad. Like I would be like, then you're waiting on me to finish my meal. I'm all set.
Okay, this is like, what do you think about like taking home leftovers?
What's wrong with it?
Okay, so there's when I was like younger, I was watching this TV show, I think on like MTV, and it's like been engraved in my head ever since I watched it. This guy on this like I think it was a reality TV show. He was like, oh, he went on a date with this girl, and then he called her fat because she took her leftovers home. He was like, only fat people take their leftovers home.
No,
Yeah.
really? He called her because she took her leftovers home. That's deep. That's like that's thinking too hard. Damn, that's cold.
So, like, now whenever I wanna take leftovers home, I, like, think about that. I'll still take them home, but I feel guilty doing it because 'cause I'm like, "Am I a fatty for taking these leftovers home?"
I mean, not really. I mean, bro, that's wild. I don't know. I would not think of that. I mean, it's just leftover food. Like you didn't finish it, eat it at home. Not like, oh, you're you're fat, you're taking
"You're gonna
leftovers.
eat this at 3 in the morning, you fatty." Like, I don't know. I don't really like leftovers. I like my food, like, fresh, so I'll take leftovers home and then I won't end up eating it. Someone else will just eat it for me, or I'll have to throw it away, but
Yeah. I know you don't eat leftovers. Which what the heck? It's like I eat
the only
leftovers.
leftovers I'll eat is Thanksgiving food. Like, after Thanksgiving, I could eat Thanksgiving leftovers for, like, a week straight after.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't like anything else left like a leftover.
What's there's nothing wrong with leftovers. First of all, if we're gonna live together, you're gonna be eating leftovers, lady. Because
Don't call me
I'm gonna
lady.
I'm the one that's gonna be all the cooking. I'm the one
No,
cooking it
you're
all up.
not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay. But still, I mean, I don't know. I don't mind leftovers. I don't care. I think it's just fine. Just heat it up. Mike. I was one of those people that didn't like that didn't like leftovers, but I feel like at I don't know, as you get older, you just like and you see how much you pay for your grocery bills and
Yeah.
shit, and you're just like, "Oh fuck, it, I'll eat it."
Mhm.
Right? You're not gonna let that shit go to waste. People are asking if you can cook. I don't
Um,
$4.99 from Mr. Petition. One thing that pisses me off is females that want these nice steakhouse dates just to order tenders and fries unamused.
yeah.
oh my god.
I would be pissed if I take you to a steakhouse and you order chicken tenders. Like, no, like I'd be like, "Why are we here?" You could have. I mean,
I have never seen somebody order chicken tenders at a steakhouse, but yeah, that I would question that person too, I guess. Especially if like as a I don't know, I wouldn't order chicken tenders on a date.
got the kids meal. They ordered off the
Yeah.
kids
But
menu.
some people are picky with their food. And chicken tenders are always like the safest option anywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think you just like maybe you ask ahead of time, "Hey, we wanna go to the steakhouse." I'm thinking, or do you like would it matter if I asked like, "Hey, can we let's go to the steakhouse," or do you wanna be surprised?
I
You wanna be surprised. You're like,
With you,
"Let's
I'm
go
okay
this
being
time."
surprised. You just like tell me like how to dress and like I'm like happy. I trust your judgment, but I don't think I would do that with every guy like just to let me like blindly go wherever they take me. I would not do that with anybody else, I don't think.
Yeah, someone said red flag, red flag. I don't I think that's so I don't know. I'd be insulted. I was like, we got a nice steak, you getting chicken tenders?" I'd just be like, "What the heck's wrong with you?"
But maybe it could be that she's just trying to order the cheapest thing on the menu to not make you spend that much money.
Yeah, that's another thing too. That would be because some
Cause like
people insecure about that, right?
yeah, like, especially on a first date, if a guy's paying for me, I never order, like, too much or, like, I will never order, like, the most expensive thing on the menu. Even, like, with you and me still, we've been dating for almost, like, 3 years, I won't order the most expensive thing on the menu. Cause like, I feel like that's just common courtesy.
Why? It's not yeah, I guess, well,
Well
I mean, well, I appreciate that, thank you. If you wanted to if you were trying to order the Wagyu steak, you save me some money, I appreciate that, but, um, no, I mean, I think, yeah, when you're on a date, I think you do look at the prices sometimes, unless you're trying to come off as a big shot. The one thing I will say, though, is that you don't want to go too big on the first date because then your expectations, right? If we go out to this, like, five-star Michelin restaurant, classy place, you are you gonna expect that every single time, or are you gonna expect, like, a different lifestyle?
yeah.
And then I take you to what? Starbucks the next day or some like, something that doesn't live up to it. I think you gotta be also within your means.
Well, you know what? Someone told me that I think in like another, I think maybe it's in Italy or somewhere, there's a separate menu for men and women. So the menu for women don't have the prices on it. So you can just order whatever you want without knowing what the price is. And like obviously that's like they make it so that's like the man's responsibility and the girl can get whatever she wants.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
interesting. I mean, I guess I don't know. I think with first dates, it can be all over the place. Um, but I don't know. It's interesting because I think Ash, your sister would know everything about that. First dates.
We'll have to bring her on and ask her all about her like dating life because she has a few like I feel like she has some good stories that'll like make everyone laugh. But
Yeah, I think if we get what's the goal? 200 likes. If we can get 200 likes, if you're watching or listening right now, if you can get 200 likes, well maybe we'll get both you and your sister on. We'll talk, get a
yeah,
little twin action.
yeah, I think you guys could do it. 200 likes, that's easy for you guys,
Yeah.
all of you that are listening. But I think we kind of went off track a little bit with with the 50-50 topic. But to wrap this part of it up, like, have you ever had went on a date with somebody and like made her pay for herself?
No. No.
Okay.
No. I've had some horrible dates. Horrible dates.
What's like okay, can you tell me one of them? One
Well,
of the
you know
bad
most
dates?
of them. I met I was really weird. It was just so embarrassing. I don't know where I was at some bar and the date comes in with a giant white mink coat on. Like like it looks like straight off like and this is Rhode Island and like it's walking around with a huge dead animal on you.
Hmm.
It was just over the top and it was basically totally outside, like you said, dressed for the occasion. It wasn't dressed for the occasion, and I was like, I wanted to leave. I was so embarrassed. I was like, with a giant mink white coat, and I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm out of here.
Gosh.
So
That's also embarrassing because, like, I don't know, what if you meet up with somebody? There's been, I don't know, I've heard some stories from my friends, like, they've met up with guys and they don't look anything like their dating profiles. And guys on there, I'll say this too, they have a tendency of lying about their height. Always known this, but one of my friends, she went on a date with this guy in his Tinder profile. He said he was 6'2" and he was shorter than her when they met up in person. And my friend is like 5'7". So, like, why would you lie that much? It's okay to lie a little bit, but to like, I don't know, to
that's the
lie
one
that
thing you're
much
not
about
supposed to
yourself.
lie on. You can't, because it's the one thing you can't get away with. You can get away with, oh, how much money you make and how much, oh, you know this.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get away with height, right? Unless you're wearing what's those new Nikes that I was joking, the DNA, the DNs that give you like 6 inches to your height. You're not gonna get away with your height.
Have you seen that there's actually like a surgery that men are getting nowadays to like grow taller? I don't know what they do. I think like they like break their kneecaps or something and then like extend. I don't know. I don't know the science behind it, but I've
Yeah,
seen
I
like clips of it.
you seen it on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was this one guy on TikTok that got surgery to literally like grow his height. He like went from like what in like 5 foot something to like 6'3",
Oh
and
my
it
gosh.
looked painful. It just basically was like two metal rods, and you have a
$1.99 from Com. I'm 6 feet 2 inches.
oh nice. But he had like a crank, and you just like crank it every certain time to stretch it out. And he like literally grew like 4 inches. And I was like, how is that? Why would you do that to yourself? Because, like, yeah,
Well,
it might work now, but when you're
yeah.
50, 60, you're not going to be able to walk.
That's scary with like everything. Like, you know, nowadays girls are getting like surgery to their body, like BBLs and stuff. You don't know what that's gonna look like. I don't know if there's any science on like women when they get like 90 with a BBL. Like, I don't know what the logistics of that is. Filler, girls are
Yeah.
getting filler nowadays. You don't know how that's gonna age. Like, it's so yeah, this for men, I feel like is a little I hope not too many people are doing it, but I feel like height is definitely something that is very sensitive for a lot of men. So I can definitely see a lot more people getting that surgery, but it's so dangerous, I feel to
I think out of all the surgeries, that's probably one of the most dangerous. What, that? Well, that's like unheard of. Like, only one, like a few people have gone that. But then
yeah.
how many people have died from BBLs surgery?
So many
It's
people have
super
died from
dangerous.
BBLs.
And that's not
It
even like, isn't didn't you don't you say that's like not even the style anymore? Like everyone's going back to skinny.
actually there's this thing called a skinny BBL now where
What?
it looks extremely natural, but it's still a BBL. That's what girls are getting nowadays. But
There's all
there
different
was
types.
yeah, there was so that's kind of like what Kylie and the Kardashians have now is a skinny BBL. So they got like most of it removed, but to look like skinny because being skinny is in again right now, like not super curvy. And but they still have like, you know, their butts and their
Yeah.
shape. So it's scary, but you know, a sad story last year. But no, wasn't there that guy from what's Nick Cannon's show?
Oh, wow and out.
Yeah, that comedian, his she was actually a Wild 'N Out girl, I think. She didn't she die from a BBL last year?
Yeah, that was one case. I think it was like it's like it wasn't like infections or you don't wake up from the anesthesia or something like that. I think it's very
That's a
dangerous.
possibility, but I think with BBLs, I don't I'm not the best person to talk about it because I don't really know much, but I heard that it's one of the most dangerous procedures because they're basically taking fat from like other parts of your body, usually from your stomach, and injecting it into your butt. But I think like if they accidentally inject your one of your veins with fat, then your whole it could go to your heart and like block your heart and then you just die.
What?
Yeah. If
All
like
that.
fat gets into your veins, into your bloodway.
I will say that must be so tough for women for just like having to keep up and look at
Yeah.
social media and like having to see like fucking just all the craziness of what is like your expectations.
I definitely think
Men don't have to worry about that. Men have to worry about money. That's it. Everybody flaunts money, cars, you know,
yeah.
bill. Like that's the thing. Like for men, it's totally different. It's all about like money. Money's like flexed everywhere on social media, and it definitely could definitely make people feel like, at least for guys, so trapped because they expect to have all the money at like, oh, 25, I'm a millionaire. But most of these dudes fucking lie. Everybody lies on social media. It's all fucking fake.
Yeah.
All the cars are rented, the watch is loaned, and it's like, but it's like this expectation when you look on social media that if you're a guy and you're 25, you're 30, you should be what? You should be an Amazon reseller or whatever, drop shipper, and you make millions of dollars and you're in real estate. It's like it's insane.
Or you're trading like I don't know, you're making
Oh,
millions.
Bitcoin or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
It's
It's
it's it's interesting too because so I don't know if all women are getting their bodies done for men's like attention from men. I think a lot of it is also insecurities that you have in your own skin.
mhm.
But like the funny part is like it's the norm for girls to look that way. And that's like what that's the type of girl that guys aspire to be with, right? A girl that has like the most perfect body, like a big butt, round hips. And in order to like, I feel like to get a girl like that, you also have to have the funds. So I think that's another thing that guys obviously that's why they want to make money so they can get the girl that they want because
It's different. You're saying there's different classes, right?
yeah.
Right. It's
And
just
that takes us back to like the topic of like going 50-50. I feel like once you get to like a certain, I don't know if it would be like a caliber of a woman or man, you expect to date a certain type of person, I guess. And
well, I want to ask you this: how come women never? I don't really see too many women date down. They always date up.
are you serious? That is not true. Do you know how many women are out there dating men that don't provide for them and they're actually taking care of their man to help build him up and get him to where he wants to be?
I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not looking in the right place, but I definitely see a lot more of I don't know women dating up than men will date whoever. I feel like it doesn't matter.
What do you mean like dating up? Like tax bracket wise? Or are you talking about like
Sometimes, yeah.
looks wise?
No, I don't think looks. Maybe I don't know. That could be tax bracket. I mean, I've seen what have we seen? We've seen uh beautiful women date old white guys right? Like that just are millionaires.
Tommy Yuan became an employee.
Oh, thank you for the 5 gifted. Appreciate it.
Chalupa Batman became an employee.
Uh-oh, this is gonna go off now.
Yeah.
Theo
Well,
Fries became an
that's
employee.
like that's been going on for as long as like
Snazzy Paradise
people have been
became an
alive. Like
employee.
I think in
Happy
other
Man became
countries
an employee.
actually, like Bengali culture, I have a lot of aunts that are Russian.
Mhm.
You look for men that are like stable and can provide for you and like take care of you. So like they will go for older men because men that are older are usually more established, more stable, and they can provide
Yeah.
like for you. Um, and I think that's why like my my aunt did marry my uncle and they have a 20-year age gap because he was more established and he was able like she's in med school now and he's able to support her and like help her go through med school. So I think like as much as girls or women get labeled as gold diggers for looking for a man with money, I feel like
Mhm.
money definitely is important in a relationship. It's not everything, and it doesn't mean that you have to make $1 million, but to be in a like a successful marriage, I think, or relationship, you need to be able to
$2
provide,
from
I
William
guess.
Gomez. Bold AF to say women are dating up in front of M.
Why? M does better than me.
I couldn't hear what that said. Could you repeat it?
Oh, it's Will with 2 says bold as F to say women are dating up in front of M. Why? M does better than me. You kidding me? I mean, I'm the one with the unstable job that's losing, going off the rails. How many times do I complain to you every night?
You just answered your own question. You said, "How many times do I complain to you every night?"
I complain to you every night. So, yeah, without M, I would probably be, I don't know, I'd be a melted pot of like nothing, literally.
I think like too, like that's kind of like my parents' biggest reservation is that you don't have like a typical like 9 to 5 traditional job,
Hmm.
and they're like scared about the stability. But like
Yeah.
I see how hard you work and like how dedicated you are, and like I feel like you are super successful in what you do. So versus like I don't know if you were like
Well,
chasing a dream that I feel like like some guys,
I
"Oh,
want to be the
babe,
biggest
I'm gonna
white
play video
rapper.
games for a living and become like a freaking video gamer," and they only like that's like very rare for people to like blow up and like really be successful on
Oh,
social
come
media.
on, I wanted to be a professional yo-yoer when I was a
Oh
kid.
yeah, sure.
But I mean, we can get into another episode, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, with parents and stuff like that, like, I mean, we could dive into our stuff is a little bit, different than compared to everybody else. But yeah, I mean, everyone knows. I mean, your parents are so traditional. Like, they're from Bangladesh. They're from a different country, so it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, your mom. You jokingly said your mom's never seen white people before until she came here. So it's
Well, in
like,
real life, before she
yeah,
moved to America, because in Bangladesh, there's not sorry to break it to you, there's not very many, like, white people living there or
yeah,
other ethnicities because it's majority Bengali people. So my mom thought, like, she would see, like, white people in movies and TV shows on the TV, and she thought that was, like, fake, not real. She also, like, never saw snow before she moved to Michigan because like, they don't have winter, they don't have snow over there.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's different.
Totally different. And your parents are very traditional. And then you have like nowadays where it's like, which is great, but then it's also a negative, is that uh you don't have to go the 9 to 5 route anymore, right? There's
Mhm.
so many ways to make money. So, but there's positives and there's negatives, right?
Yeah, but like in foreign, I guess, like culture or families, at least in my like brown families, you only have three options really. Is either you become an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer. Those are like the three options you're given your whole life. And like if you don't become any of those, you're like a big failure. Like you're the failure of the family, really.
Yeah.
As harsh as that sounds, that is like kind of like the mentality. So both my parents are engineers. They wanted me and my siblings to become engineers. I'm clearly not an engineer because I suck at math. I was in advanced math, but once I got to like calculus, I that's where my ability in math stopped. I suck at calculus, and that's like you need to take like up to calc 3 or 4 to become engineer. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, this is not the route for me. But
It's different cultures too. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening could probably relate to that.
yeah.
Um, obviously, I mean, I ain't get mine. My route was a little bit different. My dad was an accountant. My brother's an accountant. My sister works in IT, but she has an accounting background. I started off in accounting, and then I went my own way because I can't sit at a desk all day. I just can't do that. I had to
Yeah.
figure out something else.
Well,
Um,
and like I'm sure your family too was a little worried when you first started doing this and
my mom
like
had a heart attack.
yeah.
I told you, remember when I was that phone call? I was like, I stepped out of Thermo Fisher at my job. I called my mom because I was like, they wanted everyone to go back to work. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I can't do this no more. Like I have to go for it.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, Mom, I'm quitting. And she's just like, what? I was like, I'm quitting and I'm moving to Florida. And she's just like, no, like, is there a way? Can you figure it out? Can you still work? Ask him, talk to your boss, and please. Like, she's like, I
Oh,
was
so
like,
you fully quit and then told your mom that you quit?
no, no, no. I told her I was gonna quit.
Oh,
I told her
okay.
I was gonna quit. So, and I gave my 2 weeks in, and then I was like, I'm out.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's what I did.
And you
But
haven't looked back since.
no, but yeah, people tell me I need to go back to working, but it's all right. Uh,
Yeah, 9 to 5 jobs are not fun, but I mean,
it was
that's a
tough.
means. This is how my parents put it to me because like sometimes I get super stressed out and anxious with work.
Hmm.
And basically they say just look at it as like a way for you to like survive and make money, but it shouldn't be your whole life. You should have hobbies and like a life outside of work because that's what like living is. Having a 9 to 5 job, I feel like is so restricting sometimes because you have to sit in a cubicle from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. I
Hmm.
feel like I wasted my whole day and then I'm just like I feel like I'm so unmotivated after I get home from work to do anything else. So I feel like I'm just like wasting my days. So like I try to do things on the weekends, like spend time with my friends, like go outside, like do actual things than to like sit around and you know,
Yeah,
it's tough. And I
I
always
try to
tell you
help.
like I'm jealous that you don't have to do a 9 to 5.
Yeah, but it has different. Like I said, it has different negatives. Like because like obviously I look at you and I see like all the benefits that you have, and then like I wish I still had that, but I don't have that no more.
Yeah.
But I mean, the one thing that was tough, like as doing it, who started off 9 to 5s, like it was just the mindset, right? It was just so tough for me because it was just I felt like every day I woke up and I didn't want to be there, right? I was
Mhm.
always miserable, and I was like, you know what? You only have one life, right? And I tell you this all the time. It's like you got to find what you're passionate about and what you
Mhm.
love, and just go for it in a way. Set yourself up so you don't just drop everything and you're just like, oh, risk it. You want to obviously create as less risk as possible, but yeah, it's like it wasn't like my job was tough, but in my head it was tough because I didn't want to be there.
Mhm.
I was felt like Groundhog Day. I wake up and you get in your car, you drive 40 minutes, sit in traffic, then sit with the same people and deal with the same coworkers. And it was just like I just couldn't do it. So I felt like I was deteriorating.
I I think my least favorite part is having to answer to other people. I hate having to like tell people when I want to go on vacation or need to take a day off. And like I
Mhm.
also work at a company where I don't have unlimited PTO. I mean, my sister Ash, she has unlimited PTO.
Yeah.
I only get like 80 hours a year to take off on vacation. And then like if I take any more hours off than that, not 80, sorry, I have 80 hours flex time and then 80 hours vacation time. But still, like for a whole year, that's like barely any time off. And I don't know, I just hate having to answer to people. And I think that's one thing that I like I'm so jealous about for you is that you're your own boss. You get to make your own schedule, your own
Mhm.
routine. If you have to take a few days off, you can, which you never do. But in case like you want to go on vacation or do something, you don't have
Yeah.
to, ask for it 2 weeks ahead of time or 2 months in advance or anything like that.
Well, like a 9 to 5 isn't bad, but to me, it's like it's not about the 9 to 5. It's about doing what you love to do too,
Yeah.
right? I think that's important. Do you enjoy it? Are you
Yeah.
happy doing it? Right? Some people, I mean, I salute them. Some people are tough SOBs that, maybe they're miserable, they hate their job, but they still get up and do it every day.
Hmm.
right? And those people I definitely salute. Um, but I think like, the time frame that if you're an accountant, if you're a lawyer, if you're like, a regular job, I think if you love it and you're passionate about it, then I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's the way to go. But do what makes you happy.
I'm definitely not passionate about my 9 to 5. And when like look around and I see people that have been at my company for 30, 40, 50 years, I'm just baffled because I'm like, how did you? I just feel like they like withered away at that job. And like, I don't know if they like, I don't think they're truly passionate about that either. That's just, they're just used to it and that's their routine. And that's the only reason they've been going. Cause it's like, I guess cause it's a stable income. They don't have to worry
Mhm.
about.
Is that a ghost?
No, there's like downstairs. They're doing like construction in like
Oh,
downstairs.
I was like, wait, I see some lights flickering in the back, and I know your house. You always say there's ghosts in your house. I was like, what? Um,
This might
but
be our cue to to end.
oh well, yeah, we gotta break our fast.
Yeah, which I'm very proud of you for fasting today on the last day of Ramadan.
I should wait for you. Do you have any water with you?
Yeah, I have a whole thing of food in front of me, but I just haven't we just been talking, so I haven't stopped.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm gonna have a sip of water. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm gonna have this is
Oh,
blueberry lemonade.
okay. First sip of water of today. I mean, I really give you credit for that, for fasting for Ramadan, because that is no joke every single day. And it ends tomorrow, right? So tomorrow is what? Um,
Eid. Tomorrow is
Eid.
Eid.
Yeah. So what exactly do you do for Eid?
So my family, we wake up at like I have to wake up at 6 in the morning so I can get ready on time because you have to be at the mosque for Eid prayer by 9 a.m. There's like three different. So I think the times there's a prayer at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., and 10 a.m. But we just try to catch the 9 a.m. one or 10
Mhm.
a.m. because Ash and me definitely take a long time to get ready in the morning. So, and I also suck at waking up. So yeah. So we go pray. My family has a tradition. We go and get Starbucks right after, but we'll probably get coffee after.
Mhm.
And then we usually like hop from house to house and just eat all day. That's
Yeah.
basically what we do. And we dress up. We dress up really cute and nice. We have all our outfits laid out and ready. So
Yeah. The food is
it's fun. You finally like you basically just stuff your face all day. That's what my family does.
I guess, right? Make up for all the days.
Yeah. But it kind of like defeats the purpose because you're like eating healthy, like lose a bunch of weight, and then it feels like I basically gain all the weight back in one day because I'm
Uh-uh.
just eating all day.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's tomorrow. But yeah, I give you credit. I did what, 2 days, and I've been crying. I was complaining all day.
I know. Yeah, some background for everyone that's listening.
God.
I called him after work and he's like, "Oh, I'm not in a good mood." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I'm fasting." I didn't even think he was gonna fast today. So he's fasting. He's like, he was so cranky, you guys. And I was like, you might have to break your fast if we're gonna do this show because you're very cranky right now. But I'm very proud of you
Thanks.
for fasting and keeping
Just
it
don't worry about
clean.
the podcast. I'm gonna expose so much in this now from now on. I know for sure. I bet you're gonna use that against you, right? You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring that up on the podcast.
Well, one thing I think everyone will learn quick is that I am like a chronic oversharer. I will say everything and anything to like complete strangers. I have like a really big problem doing that. Like I just tell everyone everything about myself. I like word vomit. And then afterwards I'll be like, "Why'd you say all that?" I'm like, "What the heck? You just met this person. Like why?" So I feel like I probably will be saying a lot of stuff and you're more like reserved, think before you talk. Like you don't say much. You don't want to, say too much about yourself. And I'm like the complete opposite. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I might
I
end
mean,
up revealing some secrets of ours, I don't by
well,
accident.
people think I'm not. It's so funny too. It's like I'm like the opposite, right? Like when we're doing this streaming, I can't shut up. I just keep going on and on and on for hours.
Yeah.
But like as soon as I shut this down, you get mad at me because I don't like to talk. I'm like, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm done talking. I've talked enough, and you're just like, no, we gotta let's talk for another couple hours. And I'm like, oh, I just
Not a
can't.
couple hours, even like 30 minutes. Sometimes you can't even have like a 30-minute conversation with me. And that's hard since we're long distance. All we have is like, all we can do is really talk to each other.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'll get like upset or frustrated sometimes. I'm like, how can you talk for hours on your stream, but you can't say anything to me? Then you're like, oh, because my chat is bringing topics up and I just talk about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna run the whole conversation every time. That's not how a conversation works.
yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a point of frustration. And I think that is something I'd say is like how you're different from like what you are on stream versus off stream. I think you're like definitely the same exact person, down to
So say,
earth,
don't, whoa,
funny.
whoa, whoa,
No,
don't
no, you're
expose
very
me
nice,
now.
funny. Like everyone sees of you on camera is 100% you and it's authentic. But like, you know, like you talking a lot, I don't think you talk a lot sometimes in real life.
Yeah,
And I mean,
I'm
that's
more mellow. I'm more
yeah,
mellow.
you're a lot more like easygoing and like so you know this. I'll let I don't know, should I say like what my friends say about you sometimes?
Oh, your
Or
friends
thought
hate
about you?
me. Your friends
Huh?
hate me.
No, my friends don't hate you, but like sometimes it could come off as standoffish or like you're too good for my friends or something because the last time you met my friends, you sat there and you didn't say anything to them. You didn't even acknowledge their existence. You didn't even say hi. Like not even you didn't even say one word. And they're like, does he like us? Or like, is he okay? I'm like, yeah, he's
When
just
was this?
this was the last day that you were here the
Oh,
last
was
time
that
you
at
were
that
here.
bar?
Well, we went to brunch or like a diner, and then we went to a bar, and you're just like sitting there. But I mean, I think it was because you just weren't looking forward to your flight home, and like it was going to be a long travel day for you, so you
Well,
just
can
weren't
I
in the
say
mood
something?
to
I
talk.
mean,
And
it was
like,
Sunday. I got to catch a flight in a couple hours, and we're at the bar, and everyone's drinking. I was like, I don't know. But you're right. I was probably just like, I was probably a little too standoffish.
I don't know. I understand because it was you and a bunch of girls, so like you
I'm
don't really know what.
always, I swear, if anybody's listening, like, it's always when I'm with you and all your friends, I'm the only guy. It's always
Yeah, but
that.
like that. Okay, imagine that, and you take me to a sneaker event. I'm the only girl, and I'm like walking around with a bunch of people I don't know,
There's
and
Timmys
like,
everywhere, though.
yeah.
No, but you're right. You're right. But we'll save a lot of that stuff for episode 3. We can keep going on and on and on with topics.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, if anyone's listening right now or haven't done so just yet, if you guys enjoy these, make sure you let us know by hitting the like button right now. Smash that like button. Um do you want to bring up some late things?
Some
$1.99 from Com.
This is a good one.
W months for ignoring the females.
I do ignore the females.
Oh, I could go on about this topic forever, but I'm not gonna. You guys have
Yeah.
to listen to the next episode for
The
some
next
more
one.
juicy tea.
Yeah, absolutely. Next one. For episode 3 next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. EST live here on YouTube. Do you want to bring up the final thoughts or you want to end it?
I'm kind of ready to eat.
Okay, yeah. You want to eat. Well, someone says like, we'll answer all those juicy questions. You know what we'll do? I think we should do is if anybody has like questions, we should probably set up a email or somewhere where they can submit questions, and maybe that's how we wrap it up at the end. I think that would be pretty cool. You know, if any has
Yeah.
some good questions or anybody
Yeah.
has any like advice or as wants any advice, has any questions about anything, I think we can set up a place where you guys can send it, even how goofy it is, or if you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous too. You can just submit it, and you can hear our thoughts on it, and or you can hear from the chat too, and what the chat has to say. But again, I appreciate the support. We have a lot of huge stuff in
We
the
have
works with this.
yeah, we have some good ideas, some good guests we want to get on. But also on a note to that, like if you guys want to put some topics you want us to discuss in the comment section, that would be great. That would be helpful for us too. Just to see like what you guys want to hear more of or more about. Some
Yeah.
what type of topics, relationships, gossip, I don't know, anything's up for grabs.
Yeah, and I bet it's gonna get a little bit wilder when we have more guests on. So
Yeah,
it's gonna get probably more heated debates.
with some more viewpoints. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I appreciate everyone listening. How do we do this? I appreciate everyone listening to the He Said.
She Said podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time.
There you go. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya. Peace.